Hello! Happy Saturday. Well, this is when I'm recording it. And today I want to share with you my story because you may be following me, may see my following, see the posts I make and how inspiring it is, but I want to take you through the journey that it was to be where I am today. And ultimately, it was from when I was in school to get my doctorate in pharmacy to where I am today, where I've been running my life coaching business for the last 3 years and have earned well over six figures doing it. So I am sharing this with you, first off, to let you know like what it takes to build a dream, but also to share with you some of the things that I've went through that you maybe can learn from. So it begins, as I mentioned, when I was in school to get my doctorate in pharmacy. And I chose that path because I thought that I knew I wanted to help people, and I thought that being a pharmacist would be a great path to do so because it was a lucrative career. It was a six-figure career that once you graduated, the average income was about six figures. And I loved science. I wanted to help people, so I went into that. And that was a 6-year path. Now, around year three and a half, I got into network marketing. I got into a network marketing company, and where you start your own business, you get to sell products and earn your own money, and you be your own boss. And it was enticing to me. And through that industry, if you're familiar with network marketing, the very common thing is personal development. That your business is not going to grow more than you grow yourself. And so I started reading personal development books. And the first personal development book I ever read was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And if you know that book, it's like a textbook, honestly. It's the foundation of much of what we see as the personal development industry we have today. And so I was inspired by that book, and I was just a thirsty sponge for that information after that. And I was still in pharmacy school, so I still had this career path trajectory that I was on. But over the next 6 to 12 months, I started to realize first that my interest in and a desire to learn more about personal development and growing as a person in my life, that grew. And then my interest in being a pharmacist started to diminish. And so there was a time in my fourth year that I started to realize that I did not want to become a pharmacist. So maybe you can relate. Maybe there's been a time in your life, or maybe you're in that right now, where you're in a certain path, whether that's in a career or maybe it's in a relationship or something in your life, you're in a certain path, and you know it's not for you. You know in your bones, you know deep down in your heart, it's not meant for you. And so personally, I was feeling lost. I felt like I had lost my sense of purpose because, as I mentioned, I chose pharmacy because I felt like that is exactly what I wanted to do with my life. And now I've come to realize this is not for me. And so for about 6 months, I was back and forth of should I stay in this career path to get my doctorate so that I can get a good job and good income, or should I leave and go for something else and do something else that I was more passionate about. Now, at the time, I thought it was going to be network marketing, that was going to be my career path, but I knew that again, pharmacy was not for me. And the one thing that I had like a needle in my side is like that being a pharmacist was not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. It was not my purpose. I was working at a community pharmacy in New York, and it was a Rite Aid, and I was a pharmacy cashier. And over the months of working there, I saw the same people coming back again and again to just get their refill of their medication. But I could tell on their face that they were distraught and upset and discouraged because their life wasn't changing. Their health wasn't really changing by means of the medications we were giving them. And I felt horrible about that. I knew that much of what we were giving them and dispensing as medication was actually just a band-aid or a cover-up of a symptom rather than treating the underlying cause of what was actually happening in their life. And so that was really what started to eat at me because I knew I didn't want to serve people in that way. And that what we were delivering as medications in the modern or the Western medicine field is that it wasn't actually producing real transformation. And that's what I wanted to help people do, is to have real transformation in their life where they look back over a year or 2 years and they're like, I'm a completely different person because of X, Y, and Z, whatever it is. but modern medicine wasn't doing that. And so I felt like I was checking my soul at the door every time I walked into any of my classes in pharmacy school. And so this was going on as I was having this back and forth of, should I stay in this career path or should I leave and do something different? And the thing that really made me make a decision was my last day, literally my last day, my fourth year of school. We were receiving our test scores back for our final exam, and I got my test score back. I opened up this tiny sheet of paper that had the test score on it, and I calculated out exactly what I needed to pass that class, and I failed by 1 point. 1 point. I failed that entire class, which meant I knew right away, immediately, I knew I have to take this class in an entire year over because I failed this class, since I have to take it again. And so what would be a 6-year career path, which I was 4 years in, turned into 7. And I was just frozen in fear. My mind started racing to, oh my gosh, all the money that I would have to actually invest, my parents investing to go through another year of pharmacy school, the time investment, the energy. What would my friends think? I mean, my parents would be mad at me. All these thoughts were racing in my head, and I was afraid. But I got enough courage at least to just unfreeze myself and go up and ask my teacher to see if there's any extra credit that I can have to then pass the class so I can continue. And I will remember this moment for the rest of my life. That as soon as I asked her, her answer was immediately, no, I'm sorry. But as I walked away from that teacher in that class and knew that I failed that class and I had to repeat an entire year if I continued, I actually felt this sense of growing peace within me. And as I discovered, I realized that it was peace because I knew that going forward as another year in school was not what I wanted to do. And so in that very moment, I made a decision to move forward on my dream, on something that I would love, that I would serve people and help people transform their lives in the way that I wanted to help people. And so I was saying yes to my dream, yes to my passion, and I felt amazing until I really grounded in that decision, and then all the uncertainty started to rise up. So maybe think in your life when you've made a decision, or maybe you're on the brink of making a decision and you're afraid. There's some uncertainty of what's next. It's the unknown. And so a part of me was feeling this, afraid of what would happen next, of like, would I be able to be successful? Not only discovering what would be my true dream, or actually being successful in making money doing what I would love. So there was all this fear, but I knew, I'd been studying personal development for long enough that I knew that great decisions and great changes in our life don't come when it's convenient or when it's comfortable. And so I grounded in this decision again to really, truly decide I'm done. I'm not continuing to get my doctorate. And so I knew my parents were upset. They were mad, although eventually they understood. And I went on, and it was scary. I left behind a whole career path to move forward with what I thought was going to be my career, which was in network marketing and offering people an opportunity to have their own business. But beyond that, my life started to change very quickly after I made that decision. Because after I made that decision, I graduated with a 4-year degree, which I'm very proud of. I did not continue to get my doctorate. And the day of that decision, after I failed that class, I made the decision to not continue. I got on a webinar, a workshop, an online workshop with a woman named Mary Morrissey. She was hosting a workshop called The Dream Builder, and it sounded fascinating to me. It was actually, if any of you know Bob Proctor, he promoted her workshop. I was just on Bob Proctor's free email list because he was in personal development. He provided a lot of great information. I was in it, and so he promoted Mary's workshop. I got on that webinar, and in that hour, Mary laid out what she had discovered over 40 years of what was a transformational system to turn any dream into reality. And not just like writing about it like a book, but like a program. She had a 3-month program to go through this process, to learn it, and to really integrate it into your life. And so that sounded amazing to me, and I wanted to invest. It was a program, and it was an investment. And it took everything that I had. I had a little bit of money set aside for myself that I earned just as a part-time job. when I was in pharmacy school, I just had enough money to put the down payment on this 3-month program. And it was scary. I was unsure if I could even earn the money to pay for that, but I did. I went for it. And over the next month, I started learning the system, but then I went to an event of hers, a live event that came with that program. And then she was offering a year-long coaching program with her. And it was just more understanding of this system, this transformational system, but really more time with her so that I can learn from her, understand like how she has changed her life over 40 years and helped thousands of people do so. And so I just got hooked. And so I invested in that as well, which was an extremely scary decision as well, because that was over 10 grand to invest in that year-long coaching program. But that is what really started to change my life forever, because from there, then things started to happen. And I'll go through this really quick just to share some of these results, because I could spend the next hour talking about what I learned over that year and then over the next several years until where I am today. But once I invested in coaching, having support, and understanding this transformational system of how to turn a dream into reality, which very quickly, parts of it is like having a clear vision, knowing exactly what you want, deciding for it, up-leveling your sense of deserving for it, facing fears, taking action, trusting your intuition, much of these things, but actually really integrating it into my life. I went from working at a community pharmacy, which I still had that job, to then I got a job working for my fraternity. It was a random opportunity. Actually, I was on Facebook, on my Facebook news feed, and my national fraternity posted an opportunity for a job as a house dad, or they called it the house advisor, for one of the largest chapters of my fraternity in the nation, in the United States. And they were looking for job applicants. And so I applied, I got the job. And so within 2 months, I got this job, which doubled my income. I got to move to Texas. I was living in Philadelphia at the time, which is where I was going to school. And I moved to Texas. They flew me out there. I had all expenses paid. I got a place to live, food, everything. And I was being paid double the amount I was being paid in my pharmacy job. So that was the first inclination, oh my gosh, this stuff works. And so from there, I doubled my income. I started to do something that I actually resonated with, which was helping my fraternity, at least a certain chapter of my fraternity, grow. And then I became a yoga instructor because there was an opportunity to become a yoga instructor there. I was interested in that. So I signed up for that. I invested in that. It was a 3-month program to get certified as a yoga instructor. I started teaching, and I had taught for about a year or two after that. So that was part of my dream, as I discovered, to be a yoga teacher and be widely known, which I was in New York. And then something interesting happened after that. After I got certified as a yoga instructor, I went to another event with my mentor, Mary Morrissey. It was an event, it was a spiritual pilgrimage we went to, Concord, Massachusetts. And Concord, Massachusetts, if you don't know, there's an energy vortex there. It is where the shot heard around the world started the Revolutionary War. It's where Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson started their work and started with the Transcendentalism movement in America. And it's an energy vortex because there are 2 ley lines. And ley lines are like energy lines along the Earth. Like the equator is a ley line. There are ley lines all around the world, and there's 2 that are intersecting at Concord, Massachusetts. So it's high energy zone. And I went there for a spiritual pilgrimage with my mentor. And so we were studying Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau and their work and how we can apply what they had wrote about and learned to live a life that we loved. And at that event, Mary's son, her son, his name is John Boggs. He's the CEO of her company. He saw me at that event and heard about me, and I was the youngest person at that event. I was 21 at the time, and I was in their highest level coaching program. And so he saw me at that event, and he just had a conversation with me at lunch, and he was curious about my story. And so I told him literally everything that I'm telling you right now and sharing with you. I told him my whole story about how I was in pharmacy. I left that. I invested in Mary's coaching programs, and I got a job working for my fraternity. I became a yoga instructor. I was telling him all this, and he saw something within me. He was interested in my story, but he saw something within me, and he said, you actually seems like you'd be a great fit for a job that we're opening up for our company. And I was like a deer in headlights because I was like, oh my gosh, tell me more. That would be amazing to work for my mentor's company, because I was so interested in personal development and changed my life so much by the information I was learning. So I was like, I could do this for work? Like I could actually earn money for doing this? He's like, yes. So we have a position. It's called being a content developer, and we have a job opening up. You should apply for it. So I applied for it. I went for it. I recorded a video. Like I sent in my resume, and I had an interview, and I was not given the job. And I was, to be honest, I was disappointed because I was so looking forward to actually doing work in personal development. And so, just for you to think about it for yourself, it's like how many times or what time in your life have you had an opportunity and you didn't get it, and maybe there was some disappointment. It's like, how do you deal with that? How do you have use your mind and have a mindset around that this is not the end, but this is just a step along the way? So for me, after I got the no, part of me was disappointed, but a part of me was like, you know what? I still am really proud of myself because there was someone who saw something in me to even just say, like, you should apply for this position. And so I had that mindset. I was still being positive about it. And a couple of days later, John reached out to me again. And he said, I know you didn't get the job. We didn't choose you. And honestly, it was because I didn't have the credentials. Like there was other people who had like degrees in journalism and writing and content development and had experience with that. And I did not. But John came to me and he said, I saw something in you, and I know we didn't give you the job, but I want to hire you part-time to work for a sales company that I'm running right now. And so I was going to do content development for him. Part-time was like 10 hours a week. And he was like, I would love to hire you. Would you love the job? I was like, yes, absolutely. This would be amazing. And so I started working for him part-time. And so this was all while I was still being the house dad for my fraternity in Texas. I was still in network marketing, trying to build a business. That wasn't working. I was becoming a yoga teacher, and then I got this job working for his sales training company and doing content development for him. And so I was thrilled. And I did that work for about 6 to 7 months before I invested in going to another event with my mentor. So notice this pattern. I just wanted to really point this out. My life has been increasing exponentially over the last 7 years. And the common thread between this entire story is that I've invested in coaching and support. And so I invested in this event that I went to in April of 2015. So this is, again, a couple of years ago, or about 5 years ago now that I'm recording this. I went to this event. It was called The Invisible Side of Success. And it was a live event, 2-day event with Mary Morrissey and Bob Proctor. And they both did this event together. And at that event, I was walking in the hallway. This is like mid-event, is like first day in. I was walking in the hallway, and one of Mary's other sons, who works for her company, his name is Matt Boggs, he saw me in the hallway, and he knew that I was working for his brother in his sales training company doing content development. And so I had a track record now. I had done 6 to 7 months of work, like really good work. And so he saw me in the hallway, and he goes, oh my gosh, you're here. Like, I've invested. It was like a $1,500 event to go to that 2-day event. And he was like, you're here. I was like, yes, I am. Absolutely. And he goes, you know what? We're going to hire you full time for our company now. And I was mind blown. Like, on the spot, because I had been doing great work for his brother and his company as a content developer, they were just opening up a second position for their company for content developing. And he was like, you know what? You're hired. Like, we want you. Like, they were just actually opening up interviews and seeing, interviewing people for that position. But because I had been working for John and his company and done that work, and I was at that event showing my commitment to this work of personal development, he said, you're hired. And so I got hired full time for my mentor's company. And I worked for her for about 2.5 years moving forward from there, which was a dream come true. It was a full-time income, 40 hours a week. I got to work from home, and it was a blessing. And I did that work from 2015 until 2017 when I started my coaching business. And fast track to that, I'm just really quick to share, because we're coming into a close of my story of where I am today. It was about 2 years into, a year and a half, 2 years into working for my mentor's company as a content developer, where I was writing ebooks, I was editing videos, I was doing a lot of behind the scenes work for this thought leader, Mary Morrissey. And yet I felt within me a very uh, familiar feeling that I felt like there was something more for me in life. And it's familiar because I felt that same feeling when I was in school to get my doctorate in pharmacy. And I started to realize it was not my path. And so in this path, as I was a content developer for 2.5 years, working for a multi-million-dollar life coaching company, I felt like this was not fully it for me, that I had more to give. And my mentor was offering, and she has offered and still offers, certification to become a life coach. And I resonated with that so deeply because I wanted to make more of a direct impact. I was doing great work. I was behind the scenes again. I was impacting people's lives, thousands of people's lives, but it wasn't direct. And I really wanted to help people directly. And I knew that it was my calling to become a coach, to help people in helping them not only discover, but then live their dream, to actually bring it from their dreams, their mind, from their invisible into their reality. And so I remember the decision I made. It was 2016. At the end of 2016, I was at another event with my mentor, and she was offering this coaching certification. And I remember there was one moment that her son, Matt Boggs, said, there will be people that are literally praying for your support as a life coach. They're praying for you right now. And as you say yes, like if you feel that calling to be a coach, that means there are people literally waiting for you to offer your services and to help them live a life they love and to build their dreams. And after hearing that, I started crying. I literally was crying in the audience because I knew this was it. This was for me. And so I made that decision to get certified. It was a high investment to become certified through her company, which was a big leap of faith to do that. And then it was about a year later after I got certified, and I studied every single day. I went through it was a 3-day training and then a 6-day training that I went through to become a dream builder coach and a life mastery consultant, just those technical titles that I now deliver my mentors programs, and I help my clients apply the system of transformation that I use to build my dreams. And now I started a business in doing so. And that was the end of 2017. And so now it's been 3 years that I've been running my coaching business. It's been profitable. I've been running it. It has been challenging, I will tell you that, especially the first year of getting a business up and running. But now it's just been a dream come true. I'm living my dream. I'm living my purpose, where I help people discover and live their own purpose in their life. Particularly, I've been finding more and more, I've been helping more and more people in starting and running businesses that align with their purpose, that serves others, and ultimately raises people's consciousness in this planet. So that's my story. I wanted to come here live to share that and record this so that I can just have this in one place, so that if you're new and not really known me before, that you now know my whole story of where I've gotten to. Now, again, there's so much more to this, and over the last 3 years, I've learned a lot of great lessons in running my business. But I'll leave it at that for now. If you have any questions, let me know. You could always comment below here or just shoot me a DM. And as you know, now through sharing my story, I'm a certified life coach. I've been running my business for the last 3 years. I've helped, I think the number is into the 60s or maybe even 70s. The number of people I've helped, like over 70 people over the last 3 years in living their dreams. So if you resonate with me as a person and you feel like you would love help in building a dream, whatever it is, then feel free to message me as well. I have many programs that I support my clients in, anywhere from 3 months to a year that I support my clients in. But I also have one thing that's very recent is I'm now just have a workshop that I'm offering. It's just $47. It's very cheap, as like a step, like putting your feet, getting your feet wet into my whole world about building your dreams and the transformational system I offer. So it's called the Vision Workshop. The link is in my bio. You could check it out and see if you want to come live and join that. It's happening October 16th, but depending on when you watch this, maybe over. But you can still get the recording. So. That's my story. So it was awesome sharing that with you today. I see you're here, Rachel, live. So yes, you're an amazing life coach. Thank you so much. And I'll be seeing you soon, Rachel. And I hope, you listening, whoever you are, hope you have an amazing day, and I'll talk with you soon. Peace.